Hey, ladies and gentlemen, what's up? This is me right now, cheersing you. Dink. Drinking coffee today. This one's for me, not for Terry. But we're doing a video response to my good friend Leo, the Funny Nerd. He did an awesome video on a great topic, 5 games you're missing out on. And he picked a couple games that he thinks don't get talked about enough. The concept is interesting. Rather than focus on games we always tend to in our top 10 lists, like Mario Odyssey. I wanted to say Ocarina of Time, but I didn't want to disrespect it. We could talk about something unique instead, like Sonic Colors. Alex. So I thought I'd go ahead and pick 5 games from my collection that I think you are missing out on, that I think more people should talk about, that I have heard virtually nobody or next to nobody make a dedicated video discussing this game. Or if they have, I just haven't heard it. There are a few exceptions. Some of them I've talked with other friends about, and you'll see that in a couple of the selections. But I think we've got 5 great games. SNES Mapper also did a great response. I encourage you to watch that as well. After this, though, let's take a look at my 5 games. And I want to go left to right in traditional American reading fashion. Up here on the DS, I'm going to say one game you're missing out on is, in fact, Retro Game Challenge. All your games belong to us. The evil game master Arino has trapped you in the 1980s. Have you guys watched that? Game Center DX, where Arino is the host and he sits in front of a TV and he plays the game until he beats it. He did this with a couple interesting games, like he did this with Takeshi's Challenge, which I think is an awesome episode. I think it's just like first or second. He did this with Dragon Quest 1, a really great video series on YouTube that you can watch. This is a game that is modeled after that TV show, with games that are specifically modeled after classic retro games like spaceship shooters in the vein of maybe Gradius, or you have these kind of action platformers that kind of are like more so Shinobi, I guess you would say. And there's even a Dragon Quest tribute, I guess you could say, in there. Each game has like 5 challenges associated with it that you have to complete for Arino. He'll give you these challenges every time that you start up, and he'll be talking to you in the center of the display, kind of like Brain Age style before you start the challenge. And then after you complete the challenge, you unlock the game and you can play it. So it ends up becoming a compilation of competent arcade games, or retro games rather. I think there's really a lot of lasting value to it. And, take the Xseed name out. I know a lot of people they hype them up. I personally don't much care for many Xseed published games, but this is one I think is special and that most people are missing out on. Find a way to play it. That's number 1. Number 2 is Dragon Quest 7. I had to throw some Dragon Quest love in there. Now, I've talked about this with Spencer on his old channel, the Itch Network. And I loved this game. It was the second mainline Dragon Quest game that I beat. And I was just really excited for it to come west, because this came at a drought, a Dragon Quest drought, where all we were getting were like the Heroes games and no turn-based RPGs. And for what it's worth, this is a wonderful, beautiful experience. I love the music. I love the island setting. I love the lore associated with each of these islands. And I'm very excited to replay it. It's been a few years, so some things are foggy, but I do distinctly remember just the 3D adventuring and the cameras. And it was a real adventure. Like, this game really gave you that sense of adventure. And it was memorable in so many regards. I loved it. I had a blast with it. You can watch the old video with me and Spencer if you want. It's on the Itch Network, Dragon Quest 7 review. But for now, take my word, I do think more people should play it. I think it's been overlooked by a lot. People may be intimidated to play it, but for what it's worth, it's shorter than the PlayStation 1 version, and it looks arguably better. Some people may like the pixel version of PlayStation 1, but you don't have load times, so that's kind of a blessing. Just like my anthropomorphic friend Ruff here. Okay, going down the list. Okay, this is a real nostalgia trip, and I cannot believe that I have not seen one video on this, besides my own that I did on the button mappers for the new... Wait, not Pokemon Shield. What am I doing? Where the hell is it? New Pokemon Snap. Say cheese. Peaches. Oh my gosh, this is such a love letter to the original N64 game. And I played it with my dad and with my girlfriend, and we all just kind of gather around and we get really excited, like, yeah, take a picture of Pikachu, and it's really a lush and beautiful experience. You know, I think that's what this series is all about anyway. It's really just taking the best pictures possible, and you know, it has the share features. I don't much care for that. I like that the game is compact and, you know, has a decent bit to it. Now, part of my issue is that I'm so attached to the original that I can't play this on my own. I have to play it with my dad or my girlfriend or somebody. So I've not gotten too far in it, but there's so much content in here, and I'd like to be able to invest more time with it, with you know, my loved ones. So talk about it, people. Go play it. Go find it. If you like the original, you owe it to yourself to try it. You guys ready for another sermon on SMT3? No, I'm not going to do that to you. Don't worry. You know, I've never heard anybody make a dedicated video to a Sheeran game. And Sheeran the Wanderer on the Wii is probably the most accessible one that I've tried. You know, I have the N64 one, which is in Japanese, so that kind of limits access. I've tried the DS one, but it restarts you from the very beginning. At the very least, with Sheeran the Wanderer on the Wii, it saves your progress for every chapter. Now, when I played this, I put 10 or 15 hours in, and I got to chapter 9, and what happened was the enemies were overpowered, but you can't grind after you've completed a chapter. You can only do it within that chapter, and they were too high level. So I was unable to progress past chapter 9, so I actually have to restart this. But I kind of am looking forward to it. It was a lot to take in at the time, but this is a game I've been hard-pressed to get rid of because I have such an affection for the idea and the concept, and the music is beautiful. I think it's the same guys that do Final Fantasy music. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But I know that the music creators are pretty famous. So I have to give a thumb up to Sheeran the Wanderer on the Wii. I do want to try that one on Switch. I think it's the Vita version, but in any case, for now, I have that. So I will play that eventually. Lastly, the last one is not on the shelf because it is a cartridge, and it's one that's going to piss a lot of people off. So, you know, let's rip the Band-Aid off. It's Castlevania on the N64. How many of you have beaten this game? If your hand did not go up, you are not in a position to be absolutely admonishing and hateful and spiteful towards it. Because, quite frankly, I think that happens too much here on the internet. I've seen a review of this where the guy didn't play more than 2 levels in. He had no idea what the hell he was talking about. He was just bashing this game. And I think it's become popular to do so. But for what it is a competent 3D action-adventure platformer on the N64. That can be difficult. And it can be difficult to make things out because, you know, it's on the N64, which is another reason I think people tend to give this game shit, because it's an N64 game, and it clearly looks like an N64 game, and has stayed on the N64. But I've cleared it no problem. I enjoyed it, and I thought it was a very, how should I put this? Melancholic experience. It has a great atmosphere to it, and it's, you know, communicated well through the plot, through the setting, through the variance in settings, through the creatures, through the difficult music, and, you know, I think people should give this game a chance. I like Castlevania games besides this one. I do like the NES ones. I like Bloodlines, and I'm okay with Symphony of the Night, but this game didn't prevent that. This is not the reason for the fall of Castlevania. You got great ones on the DS. You know, so I think people lambast Castlevania 64 a little too hard, and more people owe it to themselves to play it. Those are my 5 games I think you are missing out on. So let me know, have you played any of them? Are you willing to try any of them? Do they sound interesting? Also, be sure to check out Leo and Bruno's videos. I will have links in the description below. Subscribe to them, subscribe to me, subscribe to all. Haha, it's me. Do you like that? That little jingle? We can work on it. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Have yourselves a great day.